Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Adar Project broadcast for today. This is the 4th of Adar. Actually, in Israel, it's the 5th because it's turned dark already. So I want to start by sharing some joy from my own life. This morning at 6:40 a.m. Israel time, I got a phone call which woke me up, and it was from my son in Chicago. And he said, I thought you would want to know that you have a new baby grandson. So he's beautiful, thank God, and I'm very grateful and hope to be able to see him and my other family who is in North America very soon. Please, God. Okay, that said, I want to talk about heart, the power of the heart, and heart coherence, because this is something actually that can make a massive difference for you. And it's, again, turning some of that darkness into light, and instead of receiving and reacting, broadcasting. So we want to be broadcasters. So when I don't know if you know or not, but I used to have a show, an internet show called Quantum Healing, Consciousness, and Soul. And I was the host, and I interviewed some really amazing people. I had like 10 seasons over a few years. Also the Global Awakening Summit, and some of you know me from the Geula Summits, but the Geula Summits were not my first summits. I interviewed a lot of healers, a lot of experts, authors, the author of the Celestine Prophecy, a lot of people who are very innovative in the field of healing, in the field of healing, and really miracles, because one of the first examples of personally generated, human-generated miracles that I saw, which still continues to amaze me today, is energy healing, where a person can actually shift reality for another person with their thoughts at a distance. It's true. So the Torah has some things to say about this as well, actually. Machshava Moelis, our thoughts create. Maybe we'll talk about the Kabbalah of the secret in tomorrow's call. We'll see. Right now, I want to talk about the heart. So one of the people that I interviewed several times was a person by the name of Howard Martin, who works for the Heart Math Institute. The Heart Math Institute does actual research, and has for many years, on the power of the heart, the electromagnetic field of the heart, how to shift that field and create what's called heart coherence, which basically just means peaceful waves, as opposed to that stormy, turbulent sea. So our heart can be a stormy, turbulent sea. It often is, right? Especially these days, it's very easy for that to happen. There are practices that allow us to create heart coherence, where the waves of the heart, instead of crashing up against each other and generating massive chaos outside of us, because here's the big thing to know, the heart, everything about us creates electromagnetic energy. Our hands, our bodies, our brains have a very strong electromagnetic field. So when you think something, it actually sends out a broadcast. Your heart, though, creates an electromagnetic field which is 660 times stronger than that of your brain. Wow, right? So what you feel is gonna broadcast out, and really far. I didn't actually refresh my memory and look up how far, so I don't remember, but it's like way, way beyond your body. And all of us, just imagine, all of us are broadcasting right now, 7.5 billion or whatever it is, broadcasting, both with the brain, with consciousness, and even more so with the heart. And it's probably not that coherent, which is one of the reasons why things are looking and feeling the way they are. Fear, anxiety, anger, those kinds of things are not, they create an incoherent field. Again, think of the waves crashing in the ocean, and there's nothing blame. So if you're going to go blame yourself for this, or even blame others, which I have to say is pretty easy to do sometimes, it's just going to create more incoherence. And incoherence sends out that electromagnetic energy 60 times that of the brain, way, way out into the world. So we're broadcasting chaos. We're broadcasting reactivity. As easy as that is to do right now, it's uncool. So we can support each other in creating heart coherence. So that actually Heart Math sells a machine, which I used to have. I probably do still somewhere, but I haven't seen it for years, called the M-Wave. And it's a biofeedback little device that allows you to see if your heart is functioning in the most coherent way. And it has to beat in a certain peaceful way, and there has to be a variation in the way that it beats. That's part of what shows a healthy heart. But there's some simple ways that Howard Martin showed me we could do this. So if you'd like to do it with me, put your hand on your heart and just breathe. Just breathe. And ask yourself, should Shipra go blonde? Deep question. Should Shipra go blonde? And if she goes blonde, should it be like this? I don't know. Can I do that? No, seriously, okay. So you want to now project through your hand into your heart certain emotions. They found that the emotions that are most powerful in creating heart coherence are caring and kindness. Even what love does, but by the way, but there's certain emotions that Howard told me are even stronger. Caring and kindness, gratitude, appreciation. So if you want to do this with me, close your eyes with your hand on your heart. Just send some caring to yourself. You can do love also. Wow, Shifra, I really care about you. Say that to yourself using your name. See what happens, and let me know in the comments what happens when you do that, because I can definitely feel something happening when I do that. So Shifra, your name. I really care about you. I really care about you. You're worth caring about. I want to be kind to you. I want you to have kindness. I appreciate you. And feel free to throw in some things you appreciate yourself for. I appreciate you for how much you care, how hard you try, how sincere you are. You know, if you're saying to yourself how courageous, how devoted, how talented, whatever it is that you want to say, I appreciate you. Your name, fill in the blank. I care about you so much. Really allow yourself through your hand into your heart to feel and receive that. And you want to feel your breath going in and out through your hand. And I'm so grateful. Now, think of some things that you're grateful for. I want to emphasize this a little bit. I heard from an influencer somewhere recently that she lies in bed and says the things she's grateful for. Several things she's grateful for before getting out of bed. Many people suggest gratitude list. I want to talk about that if I remember. But even lying in bed when you wake up, and instead of grabbing your phone first thing, maybe do that second thing. First thing, say, God, I'm grateful for, thank you for a good night's sleep. Thank you for any sleep. Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain to water the flowers. Thank you for, my health and wellness. Thank you for my breath. Thank you for the people in my life who I love, who love me. So that's gratitude. So shine some gratitude through your hand into your heart right now. Be grateful to yourself as well. Shibrachana, I'm so grateful. And to God and to people, what are you grateful for? Let's spend a few moments just doing this. Hand on the heart. I'm grateful for the opportunity to help lift people up, especially where there's so much pushing people down, and it helps lift me up too. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the wisdom that I've learned in my life through the Torah, through life experiences, through healing processes, through friends, through soul conversations, and much more. Grateful for my family, grateful for the new baby Le, and all my family. They should live and be well like all of our families and us, all of us. I'm grateful to have something to share and people who care enough to hear it. and hopefully to share it and to share from their own wisdom in their own hearts so that we can create a circuit of growing broadcasting light. Okay, so gratitude, appreciation, caring. And you can add some love if you want. Just feel the love from your heart into your heart and allow for anything that your heart is experiencing as you breathe through your hand. Just deep listening from caring, just deep listening. What does your heart want to say to you now? And breathe deeply through your hand, out through your hand, in through your heart, out through your heart. Just another few breaths. Just allow. Good timing. I meant to turn that off. Sorry. And so just one or two more breaths just to make sure we really allow our hearts to find that coherent rhythm, coherent waveform. And as you're breathing, just imagine, see, when your heart is sending out a coherent broadcast, coherent electromagnetic waves, so it will catch, so to speak, it will, by the law of resonance, it will catch or connect with, activate other coherent waves. So that spreads and spreads and spreads till we become one much more connected, broadcasting, peaceful, loving, appreciative, grateful, empowering, connected field, circuit. Whereas the chaotic, incoherent waves are crashing up against each other, so they don't allow for that connectedness. They put us at odds with each other. Before I talk too much, if you experienced any shift through this exercise of breathing into your heart, love, caring, appreciation, the coherence exercise, I'd love to hear what you're experiencing in the chat. I think it's very important also for other people to see that, because this is a tool everyone can use, and it's really easy, really accessible. And again, like the video, share the video if you think it's useful. But I want to hear what you're experiencing, please. I myself can feel immediately, I began to feel much, much more calmness, like a calm river. My daughter calling me. Ah. Anyway, so I'll sum up here. So this is the exercise of coherence. I really want to tell you a couple of things really quickly. Number one, HeartMath did research on, I might have mentioned this in the previous live, when there were certain times in history, of course now is one of those times for sure, but there were certain times in the past when all of humanity, or a large chunk of humanity, experienced the same strong emotional event at the same time. 9/11 is an example. The death of Princess Diana actually was an example, and I'm sure there are others. But what they found, they have placed devices to measure the Earth's electromagnetic field, and they found, or someone else has, and they have access to them, that when everybody had a similar emotion, a lot of people had a similar strong emotion at the same time, it spiked the Earth's electromagnetic field. It actually affected the electromagnetic field of the entire Earth. And what's so interesting is we talk about co-creation, we talk about the secret, we used to, how, how what we put out comes back, the law of resonance, however you want to put it, it's real. The Earth's electromagnetic field broadcasts, creates an electromagnetic energy that affects us physically, our wellness, emotionally. Intellectually, are we clear or foggy in all kinds of ways? So we are actually creating what then we are being affected by. Of course, it's much stronger if there's an aligned emotion. So in that case, it was one aligned emotion that was negative. But what if we can create aligned emotions, coherent emotions that are positive, that are connected to the divine vision? So that's massively transformational for all of us. The other thing I want to say is, just quickly, real quick story. There was one time when I was in college. I mean, there were probably a lot of times, but there was one time when I was very depressed. And I don't know about clinically, I didn't know that term even, but I just didn't see any good in anything. And I stopped at a cafe on campus, and I had been given an assignment by a mentor to write a gratitude list. I'd never done it before, and I couldn't think of anything to be grateful for. I really couldn't. I sat there feeling like black hole for a while, and then I like looked at the meal that I was eating, and I wrote down that, I'm grateful for that. And then I figured, okay, I can walk. I'm grateful for that. I can talk, I can see. And so I started writing all of those things. And I kind of started getting in the groove, started moving. And I started thinking more and more things that I was grateful for. And at the end of that, I don't remember how long I sat there, an hour maybe. I had created at least, I don't remember if it was 2 sides of a page or of a paper or 4 sides, but there was a massive list that ended with my underwear is clean, in my drawer, not the one I was wearing. Of course, that was also clean. But that, again, what we broadcast out, what we choose to do deliberately comes back to us in all kinds of ways. And it doesn't have to take more than an instant. So you can either sit there and feel very depressed and all the reasons for being depressed, which will come back to you and make you more depressed, and others too. Again, I'm not blaming anyone for this. It's a struggle right now in many cases not to. Okay, but it's Adar, and we have God helping us here. We have each other help. We have each other. We're helping each other. So we can also make a deliberate decision to broadcast out something as simple as gratitude, caring, and then see what comes back to you. It's going to be something very different. So consider yourself a co-creator in very real and very meaningful ways. And you can start very simple, very easy. But the choice is for each one of us. Are we going to be part of the problem? Or are we going to step up, connect to God, connect to the powers of Adar, connect to the power of joy to bring down that Mazal that is from above creation? Remember, Mazal is a dripping down from the very spiritual source of creation. That is the power of Adar. That's where its Mazal comes from. And how do we generate that? How do we activate that? How do we pull that down all the way down to earth, into our bodies, our wellness, our relationship, our laws, our governance, our health, our viruses, whatever it is? That's all coming from a certain level of creation. But through this joy, through making a choice to be part of the solution, we immediately connect to way above that and bring down something new. How come? Because that's what God wants. We just get to say, yes, I'm in, or no, sorry, not interested. That's really what it comes down to. So I'm not going to say it's always easy to make that decision, but once you make that decision and you take the first move, it gets easier and easier right away. So let's do that together. Happy Adar. I forgot what I said I was going to talk about tomorrow. Maybe I'll remember. If you remember it, what I said earlier, write it down here, because I thought it was going to be interesting, but now I've forgotten. Okay. Oh, Kabbalah of the secret. I'll have to make a note. All right, everybody. See you next time. Mazel tov. Much joy. Happy Adar.